Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back again to Icebrand TV, and today we're gonna do a brief weapon comparison analysis between the Lost Prayer to the Sacred Wind and the R5 Widsith. So in this video, we'll try to have an unbiased side-by-side comparison analysis and considering some of the advantages and pros and cons of using both weapons. So for the record, we will be limiting our discussion by using Klee as our main DPS, and we will try to look at the bonuses and attributes that would be present or lacking in both contenders, especially their passives, which obviously contributes to the overall uniqueness for both weapons. But first, we would like to set the baseline, well, just to mitigate some inconsistencies. So here, we will be comparing two level 90 Catalyst, a 5-star weapon at refinement level 1 versus a 4-star weapon at refinement level 5. Take note that both of them have different substats. The first one has crit rate and the other is crit damage. And here is my level 80 Klee with 0 constellation. In addition, we will be using the 2-piece Switcher and the 2-piece Gladiator set that has a pyro damage bonus and a crit damage or crit rate on our circlet, depending on the weapon that we will be using. And finally, her talents. Both weapons have their own unique passives, so we will also try to get into that later, especially the R5 Widsith, which gives you 3 different passives every time we switch to our main DPS. So before we begin, don't forget to like and comment down below for any suggestions or clarifications. I would really appreciate it, and I will try to answer each one of you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. So to begin with, first we will compare the two weapons without using any elemental or transformative reaction. So here it shows that after 10 seconds, there's a significant drop in the damage output coming from the R5 Widsith. While comparing to the Lost Prayer, the longer Klee stays on the battlefield, the higher pyro damage bonus she gets. And now, let's see how they perform when using elemental reactions. So it's pretty obvious that the R5 Widsith would outperform the Lost Prayer to the Sacred Winds in the first 10 seconds, for having the huge amount of buff coming from its secondary passive, which makes the Widsith more practical and effective when using elemental burst and charge attacks. On the other hand, the Lost Prayer would also deal huge amount of damage, but it only requires us to wait for a certain period of time to maximize its effectiveness. Unfortunately, both weapons have their own disadvantages, particularly when we're talking about weapons' passive downtime. For instance, In order for the Lost Prayer to reach the maximum stacks, it requires us to wait up to 16 seconds, and sad to say, it resets automatically when switching to other characters, in which I think it's very hassle and it's not convenient for different types of game style. On the other hand, the effect of the Widsith would only last for around 10 seconds, that is after switching to the wielder, and it has a cooldown of 30 seconds after the effect took place. I think it will only be useful for characters that uses their burst immediately after switching to them. Lastly, both weapons have good secondary substats, which is crit rate and crit damage, as what I mentioned earlier. So alright, and I hope that you've learned something from this video, and always take every information with a little grain of salt, as these are only based on my current knowledge and available data that we have right now. As always, be safe and thank you for watching.